Well, good afternoon. It is just a minute past 1 on Friday the 2nd of August, and I'm back over at Snitterfield Reservoir today, fishing for tension crucians again. I wasn't actually supposed to be coming here today. I'd got a different plan. I was going back over the college pool to fish for roach, bream, and then spend the evening carp fishing, but when I got there it was absolutely packed. So I revised my plans and headed over to here because it was one of the nearest venues to me. Anyway, I don't mind because I quite enjoy fishing for small tension crucians over here anyway, but I had a trip here which I filmed, and then I had another trip last week which I caught quite a few of the tench. I didn't bother filming last week, I wanted a rest from filming, but I caught quite a few of the tench last week, so I wasn't going to come here again for a little while, but we're here now. Anyway, setup wise, what I've got is I've got a 13-foot match rod, and this has got 3-pound line straight through the fixable reel. On here I have a little 2BB antenna float, very sensitive. I've got a couple of BB around the base of the float, and then down towards the hook link I've got some very spaced out shot here. I've got a couple of number 6s and then a number 10, so I get a nice slow fall through the water. It is, let's have a look at the moment. It's probably about 7 foot deep where I'm fishing, which is just not at the end of the rod, but just about a rod length out from the end of the rod. I'm going a little bit further out today. If you remember on the last video I fished the pole because of it being a little bit of a more accurate method, and today I'm fishing rod and line, not because I haven't got the pole with me, but I just fancy a change and I fancy just a bit of float fishing today. I have got my other rod here with the centre pin reel if I want to fish that a bit later, but I've got doesn't look breezy on the water at the moment, but when I first arrived there was a bit of breeze blowing down here, and it would have made casting the centre pin into the breeze a bit tricky. But I've got that with me, and I've also got a feeder rod because they're the 3 rods I was going to fish with at the college pool. It's what I call my general purpose go anywhere kit. And for bait I've got a big tub of mashed bread, and that's old stale bread that I've kept. Every time I get to the last couple of slices in a loaf, I dry them out on the shed floor, put them to one side, and I've made that 2/3 brown and 1/3 white, which will give me a nice cloud through the water here. I've got bread, or I'm going to use punch bread on the hook. I've also got a lot of dead maggots with me. As I said, I was going to fish the feeder over at the college pool, so I was going to fish ground bait feeder with dead maggots in for the bream. So I've got those with me if I want to fall back on those, and I've got a load of pellets here as well that I can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by putting out a few balls of mashed bread just out in front of me here, as I said, about a rod length out. I'll put the float out without any bait on it, and then I'll throw it in round the float, just a couple of handfuls to start off with, and I've got plenty of room to cast here. There's a nice white sign on the other side in this swim, right on the other bank, that I can line up with. So about there. I'll just turn the camera around now so that you can see the float and see where I'm throwing out to. And as you can see, me and the ducks are going to be best friends for the rest of the day while I'm putting this out. The reason why I'm using bread today is because if you fish maggot, you get plagued with roach and perch, and although I'll catch roach on the bread, at least I won't catch the perch, or I should catch a few less perch, should I say, because even perch like bread sometimes. Anyway, let's have that first cast and see what happens. As I said, there's a sloping concrete wall here that goes down, and this will just, with the wind pushing in, will just push up against the wall and settle there. There's the first fish. Roach, I should expect. I'm fishing a little over depth at the moment to compensate for the slope in the wall. And I'm double punching the bread because it tends to stay on a little better then, I find. Another one. That's one of the tench. That's a good sign. As I said, they're very small tench here, but there are some bigger ones that go to about 2.5 pound, and of course some of the crucians go 2 pound and above as well, so these are terribly tricky to hang on to. But we'll have a look at the end, is the easiest way, rather than trying to get hold of them now. awful lot of fish topping near the surface, but I should imagine they are the roach. There's one at the bait already, it hasn't even finished settling. There we go. Something just flashed underneath my feet. Didn't see what that was there. Ah, skimmer. We're getting a variety today. In lovely condition. I'm on a 6mm punch. But it is a very pleasant day to be out. I'm having a day out with Cameron. Or a couple of days out with Cameron next week. He's booked some time off, so we're going to do some carp fishing because I haven't done as much this year. But I thought I'd leave it a bit and spend more time carp fishing in the autumn, along with barbel fishing and roach fishing on the river. Oh, missed that one. Well, it's just 13:36. I've just caught the first crucian. Not a monster, but we can hope that they will get bigger and better. Hooks come out in the net, which is always useful. And there we are. Gotta love them, haven't you? We'll keep putting a bit of the mashed bread in, probably about every 15 minutes or so. Just to keep a bit of a cloud going through the water. I've had a tench and a crucian, so that's quite good. I'm quite happy about that. I'm just going to sound greedy when I say if I was in the middle of the wall there or the far end, I wouldn't be at all worried if I hooked one on this outfit, because although it's only £3 line, makes no difference once you've got the open water in front of you and no snags. You can still land one on this. It's just, it'd take me an awful lot longer than if I was using £6 line, for example. Oh, there's a bit of a rise on the float, and go on. But with the weed beds over there, it's bound to head for the weed bed if I hook one, and I wouldn't be able to stop it. There we are. Ooh, took a while to get, that bite did. Little skimmer again. Right, I think I'll put the camera off for a little while. It's just 24 minutes past 2. I'd not had any more tench or crucians until now. I've just hooked a better fish. This looks a nice little one. And I've had a steady stream of skimmers, really. As I said, no more tench or crucians until this little fella just decided to join us. Oh, a couple of roach as well, but it's inevitable you're going to catch those. I did think about perhaps changing over to pellets, but I don't think that will solve the problem. But he's a little bit bigger than the last one, and he's worth having a look at. They are gorgeous. I really like one of the 2.5 pound ones that are in here. But those fins and buttery yellow, they're lovely. Always worth coming for. But they're very nomadic, crucians are anyway, so even when you've got a few in your swim, you start catching a few, you can never guarantee that they won't drift away, go and have a look around the reservoir and then perhaps come back a bit later. And a swim that produced crucians one day won't necessarily produce crucians the next. But I'm having a nice time, and considering I had to change my plans, I can't complain. I do enjoy a bit of float fishing, whatever I'm fishing for. Still on the same float, still on the same shotting pattern. I've adjusted it, you know, an inch or two the shot to get them falling slightly different through the water. Make it slower. But I'm trying to get the fish down on the deck really, not up in the water. Since that sun's gone round there and it's put me all in shade, it's really quite pleasant. It was a little bit warm earlier. Here we are. It's only a roach or a skimmer again, but here we go, skimmer. But as I said, I've had quite a steady stream of these. I should think I've perhaps got a pound or two of these by now. Some of them have been a lot bigger than this. Anyway, I'll put the camera off for a little while. I'm sure you don't want to see me catching endless small fish. That's one. Roach, I should think. Oh no, it's a skimmer. I said you get these little spells where you get roach and then you get skimmers and then a tench or a crucian moves in. Another skimmer. Gone quiet for a little while. I was hoping it was a tench or a crucian, but it wasn't. I'll unhook these in the net rather than keep getting all slimed up, and just have a look at the end. Well, the bread line's all but petered out, which you would expect, so I've swapped over to some dead maggots for a bit. I've just had the first fish. I've just put the first few in. Always reluctant to fish maggots here because they do have a tendency to bring in the perch and many more of the small roach, but it's better than catching nothing. Well, I think these are glad to see me go. I've just put in the leftover bread mash and they eyed me up cautiously and then they've all come in for it now. Well, it's just gone 4:30. I've had enough really now. It's been very quiet for the last hour. A lot of other people have gone. But on a day when I've had to change my plans from what I was originally going to do, I can't complain. As I said, the best crucian was this one here, just a couple of crucians and a few roach, a few skimmers. I've got about 3 or so pound of fish there, so I'm not going to moan really. Didn't get here till late in the afternoon, not exactly the best part of the day for it, but there we go. That's how it is sometimes. You can't always have everywhere to yourself. So anyway, there we go. I got what I came for, a couple of crucians and a tench, and as I said, as you can see, an awful lot of skimmers there and just a couple of roach and an odd perch. Anyway, I'm going to slip these back, get the gear up the bank, bring the car around and head for home. But until the next time, once again, thanks for watching, and all the best with your angling.